I love to travel, but hate to arrive. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer silent vice to ostentatious virtue. The release of atomic energy has not created a new problem. It has merely made more urgent the necessity of solving an existing one. I want to know all God's thoughts, all the rest are just details. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Mozart's music is so pure and beautiful that I see it as a reflection of the inner beauty of the universe. The man of science is a poor philosopher. The high destiny of the individual is to serve rather than to rule. Sometimes one pays most for the things one gets for nothing. I am a deeply religious non-believer. This is a somewhat new kind of religion. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. Occurrences in this domain are beyond the reach of exact prediction because of the variety of factors in operation, not because of any lack of order in nature. It was the experience of mystery, even if mixed with fear, that engendered religion. People love chopping wood. In this activity, one immediately sees results. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. It gives me great pleasure, indeed, to see the stubbornness of an incorrigible nonconformist warmly acclaimed. Most of the fundamental ideas of science are essentially simple and may, as a rule, be expressed in a language comprehensible to everyone. The faster you go, the shorter you are. To the master's honor, all must turn, each in its track, without a sound, forever tracing Newton's ground. God may be subtle, but he isn't plain mean. The attempt to combine wisdom and power has only rarely been successful, and then only for a short while. It is only to the individual that a soul is given. There could be no fairer destiny for any physical theory than that it should point the way to a more comprehensive theory in which it lives on, as a limiting case. All these primary impulses, not easily described in words, are the springs of man's actions. I shall never believe that God plays dice with the world. I used to go away for weeks in a state of confusion. Isn't it strange that I, who have written only unpopular books, should be such a popular fellow? Morality is of the highest importance, but for us, not for God. It stands to the everlasting credit of science that by acting on the human mind it has overcome man's insecurity before himself and before nature. Too many of us look upon Americans as dollar chasers. This is a cruel libel, even if it is reiterated thoughtlessly by the Americans themselves. One strength of the communist system of the East is that it has some of the character of a religion and inspires the emotions of a religion. One may say the eternal mystery of the world is its comprehensibility. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. Pure mathematics is, in its way, the poetry of logical ideas. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit, and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand rapinal is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. Without deep reflection, one knows from daily life that one exists for other people. Whoever undertakes to set himself up as a judge of truth and knowledge is shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods. The distinction between the past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Before God, we are all equally wise and equally foolish. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character. The environment is everything that isn't me. Force always attracts men of low morality. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. The only real valuable thing is intuition. When the solution is simple, God is answering. I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly. Joy in looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble mind. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. Information is not knowledge. Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute, and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour, and it seems like a minute. I am not only a pacifist, but a militant pacifist. I am willing to fight for peace. Nothing will end war unless the people themselves refuse to go to war. Confusion of goals and perfection of means seems, in my opinion, to characterize our age. Imagination is more important than knowledge. It is a miracle that curiosity survives formal education. Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. I think and think for months and years, 99 times. The conclusion is false the 100th time I am right. You can never solve a problem on the level on which it was created. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. We cannot despair of humanity, since we ourselves are human beings. we still do not know 1,000% of what nature has revealed to us. The whole of science is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. Memory is deceptive because it is colored by today's events. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. Politics is for the present, but an equation is for eternity. An empty stomach is not a good political advisor. As far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain, and as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. Anyone who doesn't take truth seriously in small matters cannot be trusted in large ones either. All religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree. That deep emotional conviction of the presence of a superior, reasoning power, which is revealed in the incomprehensible universe, forms my idea of God. Heroism on command, senseless violence, and all the loathsome nonsense that goes by the name of patriotism, how passionately I hate them. He who joyfully marches to music in rank and file has already earned my contempt. He has been given a large brain by mistake, since for him the spinal cord would suffice. I do not believe in the immortality of the individual, and I consider ethics to be an exclusively human concern with no superhuman authority behind it. Love is a better teacher than duty. We shall require a substantially new manner of thinking if mankind is to survive. The fear of death is the most unjustified of all fears, for there's no risk of accident for someone who's dead. Concern for man and his fate must always form the chief interest of all technical endeavors. Never forget this in the midst of your diagrams and equations. True religion is real living with all one's soul, with all one's goodness and righteousness. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle, requires creative imagination and marks real advance in science. I very rarely think in words at all. A thought comes, and I may try to express it in words afterwards. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best both for the body and the mind. Nothing is more destructive of respect for the government and the law of the land than passing laws which cannot be enforced. The unleashed power of the atom has changed everything save our modes of thinking, and we thus drift toward unparalleled catastrophe. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. The devil has put a penalty on all things we enjoy in life. Either we suffer in health, or we suffer in soul, or we get fat. Love is a better teacher than duty. Never lose a holy curiosity. There is no logical way to the discovery of these elemental laws. There is only the way of intuition, which is helped by a feeling for the odor lying behind the appearance. God does not play dice. Science is a wonderful thing if one does not have to earn one's living at it. In order to be an immaculate member of a flock of sheep, one must above all be a sheep oneself. Small is the number of people who see with their eyes and think with their minds. Knowledge of what is does not open the door directly to what should be. I do not believe in the God of theology who rewards good and punishes evil. There comes a time when the mind takes a higher plane of knowledge, but can never prove how it got there. Solitude is painful when one is young, but delightful when one is more mature. I have just got a new theory of eternity. You ask me if I keep a notebook to record my great ideas. I've only ever had one. We should take care not to make the intellect our goal. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality. True art is characterized by an irresistible urge in the creative artist. I cannot imagine a God who rewards and punishes the objects of his creation and is but a reflection of human frailty. Few people are capable of expressing with equanimity opinions which differ from the prejudices of their social environment. Most people are even incapable of forming such opinions. The road to perdition has ever been accompanied by lip service to an ideal. It should be possible to explain the laws of physics to a barmaid. God always takes the simplest way. It is my conviction that killing under the cloak of war is nothing but an act of murder. I do not believe that civilization will be wiped out In a war fought with the atomic bomb, perhaps 2/3 of the people of the earth will be killed. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. The hardest thing to understand in the world is the income tax. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. The only source of knowledge is experience. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. The gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. Any man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is simply not giving the kiss the attention deserves. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. All that is valuable in human society depends upon the opportunity for development accorded the individual. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind.